Okay, so we talk a lot about boundaries. And usually when we talk about boundaries, we're talking about having boundaries with other people, telling people how far they can come, what they need to not do, what they need not say to you, and all those things. And that's important. But what we don't talk enough about is that boundaries are also for ourselves. So when you have a boundary for yourself, when it comes to dealing with other people, a good example of that is when you're dating. If your boundary for yourself is that you know you want to be in a committed relationship, don't deal with people that don't. Okay? That's your boundary. Keep your boundary. Stand on business about that. Hey there, it's your girl Beatrice, the girl next door, your therapist in a pocket that's always going to keep it real with you and bring you some real life advice that you can use. And I'm just sharing my life, my experience as a therapist to help you level up and avoid some of the mistakes that I have made and some of the mistakes that I have seen others make in the healing work that I've done with them. I want you to live your best life ever. Come on, let's go right into the talk. Okay, girly. So today we are talking about dating, okay? I just want to give some quick dating tips. This is going to be a quick and dirty. And if you want more details or want me to expound on anything, please leave me comments below. Let me know what you're thinking, how you're feeling, or what you need to know more of, and I will give you what you're asking for. Okay? So let's just talk about dating. So I have my little sheet here that I'm going to reference just to make sure I don't leave out any of these tips for you. But I just want to start with patience. I want to start with patience and the importance of being patient when you are dating someone. When you are dealing with somebody that you feel like, man, I really like this person, I could see myself being with them, or I want to explore deeper to see if I could be with them, I want you to practice being patient. You know, sometimes you start jumping way forward in your mind, thinking about what life could be with them and what they'll be like as a husband. Stop all of that. Stop all of that. Leave that in 2023. Like, don't jump ahead. I think as women, what I see and I hear a lot of is us giving up so much power to the people that we pursuing or the people that we want to pursue us, right? And it's not balanced. So when I say patience, here's what I mean. I want you to slow down in your assessment of them and even how you're interacting with them. If it's somebody you're interested in, really try to slow down on having sex. Really. I mean, I'm not even coming at this from a religious perspective. I mean, this is worldly advice as well. I mean, there's a real factor at play there when we have oxytocin, just rushing in and giving us all of these hormones that are making us feel so good when we're with this person, when we're thinking about this person. And so much of that has to do with lust in the initial stages, okay? Give it time. See how this person is. See if you even really like them. Sometimes we be so focused on, does this person like me? Are they going to choose me? That you hadn't even really decided for yourself, are you going to choose them? Like, this is a two-way street. Don't give your power over waiting and hoping that they're going to choose you when you really need to be the one choosing too. Okay, so be patient in that. So that's number one. Number two is I want you to pay attention. I want you to pay attention. When I say that, listen to the things that he says and the things that he does not say. Okay, so I gave an example on my social last week, actually, where I was having it when I was, sharing some advice about this, and I'm gonna share the same advice here. If you are having a conversation with somebody, you're getting to know them, and they have plenty of conversation for you when it comes to talking about sports, their interests, your interest, what the next date y'all are gonna go on, what they doing for work, their hobbies, all of that good stuff, religion, spirituality, they're deep and philosophical, all these things, right? And you all are clicking on all these levels, but when you start asking and talking to them about relationship and commitment and where they see themselves with you, or what their desires are for the future, let's say you're not even jumping to the point where you asking them how they feel about you. Let's just say you asking them in general, what are their goals for relationships in the next month or next 3 to 6 months. Where do they see themselves? Pay attention to how they answer. If they start hemming and hawing, okay, that's that country part. If they start hemming and hawing and looking all in the sky and they at a loss for words, they giving you these real skimpy answers, okay? Pay attention. Okay. This is the reason why patience is important. You want to slow it on down. If you know you in a season of life where you want somebody that's going to be committed, somebody that's at least working towards that goal, somebody that desires the same thing, then honor that. Honor that truth for yourself, irregardless of what they want. Because here's the truth, and I've realized this even in my dating experiences. Men a lot of times have really good boundaries. If they tell you they don't want something, they don't. Okay? You gambling if you hoping that they're going to change their minds. But men typically have really good boundaries in that way, and they gonna stand on business about it, okay? So what you need to do as well is to stand on business about what you want and move around. Move around. Because here's the story of too many women. Is you find somebody you like, you start having sex with him, you know from the giddy up that he is not looking for anything serious, and then you mess around and get your feelings hurt. I've messed around and got my feelings hurt too, so I'm speaking from my own experience. Like, I am also calling myself to a higher standard in this. Like, we have to do better by ourselves. Do better by yourself. I'm not talking about like be alone. I'm saying honor what is true for you. Honor what you really desire. Because it's one thing to be like, God bless me with this, send this to me, and you keep fumbling. You know what I mean? Like, you're not showing that you're really ready or you really want what you're praying for. So be patient and slow down and pay attention to what he say and what he doesn't say. So if you're talking to him and, you know, he says, well, I'm just kind of going with the flow. I'm just seeing what sticks. I just looking to have a good time. And if a good connection develops and that's good. Okay. So he never said anything about I'm looking for a long-term relationship. I'm looking to settle down. I'm looking for a long-term partner. I'm looking for somebody to build with. He ain't say none of that. Okay. He's very casual, lackadaisical, going about his dating life, which is fine. There are women out here that are in similar seasons of life as him. If that's you, cool. But if it's not, it's time to wrap it up. Okay? Leave him where you found him. Leave him where you found him. It's okay to leave him exactly where you found him. He'll be all right. Okay? Second, cycles. This is one of the most processed conversations that I have with clients in session. And it's the question that is proposed is, why do I keep, experiencing the same type of men in my dating experiences? Why is it that I keep experiencing the same type of traumas or heartbreak or disappointment in relationships? And usually when people propose this question, they are wanting to do deep level healing work to understand themselves. And I think that there is a time and a place for that. But honestly, in my years of experience and even in my own healing journey, what I have come to discover, and I believe is true as of today, and my mind may change about this, right? Therapy is a practice. And when it's a practice, you're constantly evolving and learning new things, right? So I've come to this conclusion that, yes, it's necessary for us to do deep healing work at some point, right? To help us understand why we are dishonoring ourselves, where we learn to not trust ourselves. I think that is where that deep healing work really, really comes into play. And that's that inner child healing work. That's understanding our programming. Okay, so that's one piece of it. But, if you're actively dating right now, what you finna just put your dating on hold for a year or two while you do this deep healing work? And that may be necessary for you. But for a lot of people, it may not be, right? They just might need to do a few tweaks here and there so that they can show up in the world and in their dating, in their love lives better. And so here's the advice that I would give. It is starting with trusting your intuition. Start with trusting yourself. There are too many times that we ignore all the red flags. We've seen all the posts. We laugh at the post. We know it, right? And we spend all this money trying to fix and figure ourselves out. But it's like at the end of the day, the issue, I mean, yeah, got to do with our daddies or our mamas and our family traumas and all this stuff. Yes, that plays a part. But at the crux of it, it's learning to trust yourself and honor what you know is true, despite what other people might think, despite what the outcome may be, despite the fact that you might end up being single longer. Trusting yourself is an invaluable gift that God is giving you. It's your intuitive knowing. And so practice trusting that part of yourself. If you look back over your journey, think about all the relationships that you've been in, and the relationships you be like, dang, how that happened, or how I ended up with him, or how they end up going like that. Just reel the tape back to the first few weeks or the first month that you were dealing with him. Think back to the type of stuff that you were talking to your girlfriends about, like, girl, I don't know, I really like him, but this and this and this and that. Or even the things you never said to your girlfriends out loud because you weren't ready to admit. We all have those moments. The things that you know in your gut, the things you don't even want to write in your journal, because if you write it, it make it real. You know what I'm talking about, okay? Go back to those moments. Those were all your intuitive nudges. That was God saying, I am pushing your compass further north, and you steady trying to go west. Okay? Like, I need you to get in reality about that. And this might save you some time in therapy. It may save you on some of these self-development books. It may save you time in that guilt and shame cycle of feeling like, man, I'm not good at love. Love doesn't come easy for me. I'm not lovable. You know, I can never be in a relationship. All of those thoughts that we end up having when we run into these constant walls with relationships, you can avoid some of that heartache that we kind of create for ourselves by practicing trusting yourself first and honoring that. Now, when I give this advice and I say this, I'm saying it knowing that it's not easy, because if it was, honey, I would be 10 pounds lighter by now, okay? Because I would stop eating when my body tell me to stop eating, okay? Like, let's just be honest. It's not easy. It is a practice. It is something that we have to just really commit ourselves to in small areas of your life first. Just start with, like, your eating, for example. That's something that I'm still practicing. Just start with your eating. When you know that you're full, stop eating. Ask your body, what do I want to eat today? What do I need? Don't just feed yourself something because you're hungry. Like, give yourself what your body actually wants. Like, lately, I've been really wanting smoothies. I've been wanting fruit. I've been wanting something cold and nutritious, not necessarily meat, right? So I check in with myself about that. If I'm really thirsty, it's like, do I want water? Do I want something a little sweet? Give yourself, just start there. Start in those places. If you're tired, rather than just pushing yourself all the way through, listen to your body. Honor that, right? Those are truths that come to you every single day that you can listen to and honor. So I want you to just start there, practicing that. Even with your boundaries, okay? This is another way that you can practice trusting yourself and working on getting out of these cycles. Is if you say, I'm going to bed by 10 o'clock, go to bed by 10 o'clock. Honor your own boundaries, okay? If you say, I'm going to do A, B, C, and D, do it, okay? Honor your boundaries. If you say, this is what I want and I'm going to stand on it, stand on it, okay? Just start there, okay? That's your homework. That's your homework for the next month or so. Just practice that. I promise you it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a cakewalk, but it is a foundational skill that is important for you to have for yourself, even when you get in a relationship, okay? So let's just start there, and we can build on that conversation in later videos. The next point that I want to share with you is the importance of having a positive mindset. A positive mindset cannot be, you can't circumvent that. It's really important to Remind yourself of who you are. One thing that I encourage my clients to do, something that I've even done for myself, is I'll use like a voice note or a voice memo, and I will record myself saying affirmations that really hit home for me. And so you may want to try that. And while you brushing your teeth, doing your makeup, getting yourself ready, driving to work, you can listen to that 3 or 4 minute recording, right? And really just sit and like take all of that goodness in and just meditate on that. Like, snatch up all of those truths that you offering up to yourself. Even if you don't feel like it in that moment, I think it will lighten your mood. So really work on your mindset. Pay attention to how you talking to yourself. You know, I'll just share transparently, like today I was working out, and I have this mirror behind me, and this is like an open space in my living room where I work out. And while I was working out, I saw myself from the side, and I was like, oh, Beatrice, like, this body is not giving like you want it to, you know? And I literally almost stopped my workout, but I was like, girl, you fine. First of all, let's stop playing. Okay. Are there some things that you want to improve? Like you want to get rid of some of this back fat. You want these arms to get a little bit more tight. Yes. Okay. But that's a process. And am I still going to eat a McFlurry every once in a while? Absolutely. Because that's what I did last night. Okay. And I got up and I worked out this morning. But like, I found myself thinking like that. And just as soon as I noticed myself thinking like that, I was like, no, you're not doing that to yourself. This body is, I love this body. This body is life-giving. This body enables me to do all the things that I love to do, that I need to do. This body is my place of dwelling, and I'm happy in it. And I'm taking good care of it. Like, that is how I had to talk to myself. And sometimes even just touching my body, giving myself a hug, smiling at myself, like all of those things really do help. So nurture yourself in the areas where you know you may struggle. Okay. And then, so, okay. I want to give, I got 2 more pieces of advice for you. So here's one. Be careful with what you share with people when you're dating. Be careful with what you share. Don't overshare about your past and the relationship patterns that you've been in. Don't be telling him all the men that you've dealt with and how bad they dogged you out. Don't do it. Don't do it. Something my mama told me when I was younger, when I was a little girl, she would say, never tell a man everything about you. Never tell a man everything about you. And surely don't tell him something that he can end up using against you to hurt you or your family. And at the time, and even as I grew up, I always remember she said that, and I was like, my mama just speaking from a place of brokenness. She just feeling that way because her and my daddy's relationship wasn't the healthiest. And as I've gotten older and I've lived a bit and I've talked to other women as well, it's true. And I hate to say it, but it's true. You gotta piecemeal what you give people. Okay, everybody should not be privy to certain information about you. It's particularly at certain points in your life. Now, as you get deeper and further along, and this man has proven that he's trustworthy, you see that he not a gossip. Okay, because men gossip and they backbite their friends too. Pay attention. That's another reason why that patience come in. Remember, slowly feed him information about you. The information about you, your history, your feelings, your desires, your weaknesses. All of that is very, very, not everybody should be privy to that. So piecemeal that information. Okay. Treat it like those are your pearls. And you do not feed your pearls to pigs, do you? Okay. So piecemeal what you're giving. Last advice that I want to give is ask for what you want, darling. Ask for what you want. There are often times where I decide impromptu or I actually plan a solo date for myself. And not every time, but sometimes when I feel like I really feel this unction to do it, I'll pray for a specific experience that I want when I go out, particularly because I'm by myself. I may pray and say, oh, I would love to have a great life-giving conversation with a man that is very fine and attractive, right? Or I would love to meet somebody that, you know, is just interesting and that has great conversation and that is witty or that I can learn from. And y'all, literally just about every single time I pray that, I get it. I literally get it. And so I want you to consider and really just put your faith out there and start asking for what you want. Pray for what you want. And you just might get it. You really might get it. So as you go along your journey with dating, loving yourself, trusting yourself, I'm really big on intuition. That's something that's a full circle learning that even I am going deeper and deeper into. So I'm always going to give y'all plenty of nuggets about the importance of intuition. But I want you to practice trusting yourself, okay? That is preeminent, and it will solve a lot of these other deeper rooted issues that we have that sometimes we don't even have the capacity to access at a particular season of life. And I don't want you to put off your love life, your dating life, your friendship life, all of the things that flourish and give you, that make your life full and enjoyable. You know, I don't want you to limit yourself in those things. Here's another thing that I want to share with you before I wrap up. A lot of times, you know, women will ask questions like, you know, should I wait a certain amount of time before I start dating again? You know, I feel like I'm broken or I'm not at a good place. How long should I wait before I get back out there? And honestly, that is really up to every individual. But do I think that you need to wait years before you get back out there? Yes and no. If you've just gotten out of a marriage and you're divorcing, probably so. You probably do need to give yourself some time, a year or so, to really just kind of get your bearings, recreate a new life that you love. And for a lot of people, it takes more than a year to even do that. So I would say, yes, give yourself time with that. If you have been dating and it's been a long-term relationship, sometimes that can feel like a divorce. So if you need to completely revamp your life and get your new budget together, especially if y'all money and everything was tied together, you were living in the same place, I call it the year first after a breakup. That first year after that breakup is that year first where you experience going to that same restaurant I used to always go to, or driving down that same path, or going to this city, or traveling and then coming back in the city by yourself, right? All of those first experiences without that person can feel so gut-wrenching and difficult. Even just sleeping in a bed, having an empty space in the bed next to you. Oh my God, that can feel like the worst, right? But give yourself time to get through that year first. And those first, like, let's just say going on a hike, right? Maybe y'all used to love going hiking together. Maybe you're not going on the same hiking trail, but even hiking is still difficult and emotional for you. I would say try to start recreating that experience and making it something new for you. So if you go hiking, maybe pair it with like a prayer walk or a prayer hike. Or if you go to a restaurant that y'all used to love to go to, create a new experience behind that. Maybe go with a girlfriend, maybe start making some solo dates for yourself when you go to this place. If you're traveling back in the city, give yourself time, if you're used to them picking you up or that they're normally with you, recreate that. Ask a friend to come pick you up. Maybe even, schedule yourself a luxury Uber or Lyft, when you come back in the city. Give yourself a little extra sprinkle. You know what I mean? Like, recreate that experience where you can feel like it's something new for you and it's something different than what you experienced with that previous person. Okay. So I hope this is helpful. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I told y'all this is gonna be short and simple. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button below. I'm gonna be back here on YouTube giving you some more tips that you can use. And I hope you are well, and I hope you be well. And I will see you soon. Have a great day. Bye.